Hello friends, a very good afternoon to all of you and welcome back once again on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm Gaurav Gupta and friends, today's session is a very important session. Now we'll be talking about the importance of arithmetic and algebra in CAT and for all of you it will be CAT 2023. So in CAT examination we'll be talking about the importance of these two areas, how important these two areas are, and the student who basically struggles in the QA section, how they can take care of basically clearing the sectional cutoff of QA just by depending upon these two areas. Now this will be a very short and crisp session in which I'll be helping you in getting familiar, like I said, with the importance of these two areas and the number of questions that comes from these two areas in the CAT examination. Alright, so we'll be talking about different areas, I can say that the entire quant is divided in 5 areas, which are arithmetic, algebra, on which we'll be talking today. The other 3 areas are number systems, geometry, and modern mathematics. Okay, so we'll be talking about the importance of these two areas and how a student can depend on these two areas just to clear the sectional cutoff which is required to be cleared for the top IIMs or the top B schools to get their admissions. So mastering these two areas, your pathway to the top IIMs. So we'll not be talking about tier 2 or tier 3 colleges. We'll be targeting the sectional cutoff of tier 1 colleges, or I would say that the top 10 B schools. So good afternoon everyone and welcome back once again on the YouTube channel. I hope I am clearly visible and audible to all of you. Sonali, good afternoon. I can see your message. Sujata, Kumare-san, good afternoon everyone. Okay, now if I'll talk about this section, if I'll talk about the QA section, so I can say that basically, just give me a second. Okay, so what is the thing that is tested in the QA section? Now this is one thing that is it is primarily based on whatever we have done in the mathematics up till 10th standard. Fine, 10th standard के beyond एक दो topics हैं, permutation, combination, probability. Lot of people will argue with me कि हमने PNC probability 10th standard में नहीं किया. Fine, it's absolutely fine. But more or less I can say that whatever is asked in the QA section of the CAT is primarily based on whatever we have learnt up till the 10th standard. Now it is mainly a candidate is tested on 3 different skills. So what are these 3 skills? Now the number 1 skill is problem solving. So how good you are in understanding the problem, handling the problem, and then coming out with the most efficient solution of that. Number 2 is your mathematical ability. Now how good you are in some basic type of calculations. Now if I'll ask you to multiply 2 numbers, these numbers can be 2-digit numbers, these numbers can be 3-digit numbers, fine, it can be any number. But how good you are in handling these numbers is also being tested. The third thing is numerical ability. So how good you are in solving the numericals that are given in the CAT examination. So basically it is the combination of these 3 skills that you will have to apply to clear the QA section of CAT. Now, all of us have studied mathematics till 10th standard. It is a fact, right? But not all of us are good in this area. At least you believe that you are not good in this area. But I believe that with a little bit of hard work, with a little bit of persistence for the next few months, you can easily crack the cutoff. Now, hard work, if this is done in the right direction, can only give you the results. Okay, so if we are doing hard work, fine, it's good. But if we are doing hard work and we are directionless, we are moving here and there, we don't have any particular direction, we don't have any particular plan for us, then definitely we are wasting a lot of time. So what we'll do is we would be giving a small direction, a proper direction to our studies through this session so that we can maximize the scores with the minimum number of efforts. I'm not asking you to minimize your efforts. I'm saying with minimum number of efforts, with minimum amount of efforts, we can maximize our score in CAT. Okay, so basically I am increasing the efficiency of a student so that your efforts will not go in vain. Okay, so let us understand first of all the composition of CAT. Okay, so the reference that I have taken is a very general reference. Okay, so this is not pertaining to any particular year. All right, so this is what generally happens in CAT examination. Now, I have drawn a small pie chart and I have divided the total number of questions that appears in CAT. Okay, taking a small reference like this is a very generalized thing. So you can say that arithmetic and algebra makes up to 70% of the questions in QA section. Rest 30%, the other three areas. Okay, so these two areas makes up to 70%. Pick up any CAT examination, pick up any section of QA, okay, in any year CAT, you'll find a similar thing happening every time. So somewhere around 66 to 75% of the QA section of CAT has come from the questions of arithmetic and algebra. I'll be giving you the breakup as well, don't worry about that. But every year I have seen the same thing happening. All right. Now, other three areas, number system, geometry, and modern maths, these three comprises somewhere around 25 to 30 or maybe 35% at max. But once again, I would put focus on these two areas. Okay. Now, I'm talking from a student's point of view who is not very good in mathematics. Okay. So let's say if I am an average or below average student, and I don't understand things like geometry, modern maths may set theory is a topic, permutation, combination, probability. So if I don't understand all these things, or basically I want to minimize my efforts, especially in the QA section, and want to maximize my efforts for LRDI and verbal RC. Okay, in that case, there are some areas, there are some topics on which if I will focus, then I can take care about the sectional cutoff of the QA section of CAT. All right. Now, when I'm talking about the sectional cutoff, I'm not talking about tier 2 colleges. I'm talking about tier 1 or maybe top 10 colleges. Okay. So taking care of the cutoffs of these top 10 colleges, that means my sectional score for the QA section should be above 90 percentile. Right. Now, taking reference of last year, there were 22 questions in QA section. At what score a student will get 90 percentile? At what score, or for how many effective number of questions that you will attempt correctly will fetch you 90 percentile? So if you'll calculate, if you look at the data of the previous year or the data of the previous 4 or 5 years, you will understand that out of 22 questions, just like if your score is 6 or 7 questions effectively correct, then you'll be sitting at 90 plus percentile in CAT examination. Yes, in 40 minutes out of 22 questions, if you have effectively made 6 to 7 questions correctly, then you will score 90 plus percentile. I'm not talking about 95 percentile. I'm not talking about 99 percentile. I'm talking from the perspective of a student who is average or below average in the QA section of CAT examination. Right? Now, to take care about these 7 or maybe 8 questions which we have to attempt correctly, effectively ये correct होने चाहिए. Effective correct का मतलब क्या है? If I'm saying 7 correct, every question is of 3 marks, 7 into 3 is 21. So मेरा net score 21 आना चाहिए. So if I'm attempting 7 questions, all of them are correct, I'll get 21 marks. Okay? If I'm attempting 8 questions, so out of 8, either all of them should be correct or at least 7 correct and 1 wrong. That will fetch me 20 marks. So effectively, a score of 20, 21 will get me to 90 plus percentile in the QA section. फाइन. सो इफेक्टिवली मेरे मार्क्स कितने आने चाहिए? 20-21 के आसपास मेरे मार्क्स आने चाहिए, राइट? नाउ in order to make sure that I'm scoring this much percentile or I'm scoring these many marks, how many questions I should be attempting? Obviously, if I am an average student, then my accuracy in the QA section will not be 100%. एक ये भी हमें factor consider करना पड़ेगा. So my accuracy will not be 100%. This is for sure. So if I'm weak in the QA section, then I'll be somewhere around I can say accuracy wise, my accuracy can be as bad as 50%. So if I'm attempting, let's say 15 questions, out of 15 questions 7 or 8 will be correct. Okay, now out of 15 questions अगर मेरे 7 or 8 correct हो रहे हैं, then it will be difficult for me to get a score of somewhere around 20 or 21 marks. Okay, so first of all you need to improve your you need to improve your accuracy. अब accuracy improve करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? Should I be attempting difficult questions or should I be attempting easier questions? So simple thing, I should be attempting the questions which I believe are my strong areas. Okay, so that is why we are talking about these two areas, arithmetic and algebra, from which majority of the questions appears in the QA section. And if we'll start focusing on these areas, if we'll make these areas as our strength, then we'll be able to increase our accuracy and we'll be able to reach up till this score. All right. Okay. So if I'll talk about the previous year patterns of QA section, so a quick glance to the number of questions which were asked earlier. So last year there were 22 questions. So in CAT 2022, like I mentioned, there were 22 questions. In CAT 21, again, there were 22 questions. Okay, so if I take reference of these, I have already given you what is the approximate score that you'll have to reach to clear the sectional cutoff for the top IIMs, right? So these are the number of questions in the previous years, but you don't have to go beyond 2020. We'll stick to the last 2 years, and this year as well, we are expecting somewhere around 22 to 24 questions appearing in the QA section. So we can go as per the trend which has happened in the last 2 years. All right. Okay. Now, these are the 5 areas that are tested, as I've already mentioned. So the 5 major areas are arithmetic, algebra, geometry, number systems, and modern mathematics. Okay, so these are the 5 areas that are tested in CAT, and these two comprises more than 70% every year, and these 3 combined comprises somewhere around 30% every year. Okay, this is what we have already spoken. Now, talking about the breakup of the number of questions in the previous years, I'll be giving you the data for CAT 2022 separately. But in the last 3 years, in CAT 21, when there were 22 questions in total, out of these 22 questions, since the CAT happened in different slots, so from arithmetic, we have seen 7 to 10 questions coming in this year. Similarly, for algebra, there were 6 to 8 questions. So I can say that out of 22 questions, 13 to 18 questions, minimum 13, maximum 18 questions, since the CAT happened in 3 slots. So this is the range of questions that appeared from the arithmetic section. So arithmetic se hi 13 se 18 questions aaye the in the QA section out of 22 questions. Okay. Now similarly, so arithmetic and algebra say, so 13 to 18 questions out of 22 questions is a big deal. Okay, right? Now from the other areas, if you'll see, combined out of 22 questions, there were 4 or 5 questions that appeared from the other 3 areas. So if I'll focus 100% on these 2 areas, then there will be higher chances of me clearing the sectional cutoff in the examination. Right? Now moving back to the trend of 2020. Now in 2020, there were a total of 26 questions. Out of these 26 questions, 10 plus 6, 16 to 18 questions. 16 to 18 questions appeared from these two areas only, arithmetic and algebra, right? Talking about CAT 2019, when there used to be 34 questions in the QA section, out of 34, 25 to 27 questions appeared from these two areas alone. Now you can understand the importance of these two areas now with the number of questions that have appeared from these two areas in the previous year papers of CAT. All right. Okay. Now moving ahead and doing the breakup of arithmetic and algebra. Now arithmetic has a lot of chapters starting from percentages and its applications, ratios and its applications in averages, mixtures and allegations, then time and work and time, speed, distance. Similarly, algebra also has been divided in different areas like linear equations, quadratic equations, special equations, inequalities, functions, graphs, sequence and series, logarithms. So these are different topics that appears in these two areas. Okay. So first of all, looking at the breakup of arithmetic. Okay. So out of different topics, which areas are important, or I can say that all of them are important, which will be based on the number of questions that has appeared in this period of 5 years. So I have segregated the data for last 5 years, starting from 2017 up till 2021. For 2022, I'll be giving you the separate breakup of all these areas. Okay, don't worry about that. So this is the entire table that you can refer for your reference, okay, in order to understand from which topic different questions have appeared. So in the last 5 years, starting from 2017 up till 2021, a total of 140 questions have appeared from arithmetic. Okay. Now, on an average, every year we have seen somewhere around 12 questions coming from arithmetic. Only arithmetic on an average, right? Now, out of this, if I talk about the different topics, from time, speed, distance alone, there have been 32 questions, and on an average, 2.67 number of questions have been asked from time, speed, distance. Okay, time and work, a total of 22 questions in this period of 5 years. On an average, 1.83. I can say that on an average, 2 questions have been asked every year from time and work. Now, time and work includes the questions of time and work as well as the questions of pipes and cisterns. Okay. Now, if I talk about percentages and its applications. So, percentages and its applications in profit and loss and simple interest, compound interest. So, these three areas which I am circling, this is basically percentages and its applications. Now, if I'll combine this, 16 questions, 9 questions and 3. So 16 and 9, 25 and 3, 28 questions in total have appeared from percentages and its applications. On an average, 1.33, 0.75, 0.25. So more than 2 questions comfortably we have seen from percentages and its applications in profit and loss and simple interest, compound interest. Okay. Now, talking about averages, mixtures and allegations, basically the application of ratios. So if you look at these 3 columns, okay, so 16, 14 and 13, 43 questions have appeared in total in the last 5 years. Okay, on an average, if I'll add, so 1, 2, 3, somewhere around 3.5 questions on an average have appeared in each of these 5 years. Okay, so 3.5 is a big deal. 3.5 to 4 questions अगर एक particular area से आ रहे हैं, then I can say that this area is very important. Okay, now if I talk about what happened in the last year, so I am making a small table for the areas of arithmetic only. Okay, so one by one I'll be giving you what was the number of questions from each of these areas in the last year. Okay, now starting from percentages and its applications in profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest. So percentages, profit and loss, simple interest and compound interest. This is one area. All right. Then next will be ratios, averages, and mixtures allegations. So ratios, averages, mixtures and allegations. Finally, it will be time and work, time, speed, and distance. Now, last year there were 3 slots. Okay, so slot number 1, slot number 2, and slot number 3. Okay, so I have a table prepared. So from percentages, there was 1 question, and 0 questions in the last year. Then profit and loss, there were no questions in any of these slots. And from simple interest, compound interest, 1 question each appeared in the last year in every slot. Okay, now ratios, 2 questions were there in slot 1. No question was asked in slot 2 or slot 3. No direct questions. Now averages has been very important. So 2 questions in slot 1, 4 questions in slot 2, and 3 questions in slot 3. This is from averages. Mixtures allegations, 2 questions, 1 question, and 1 question. All right. Time and work, 0, 1, and 2. And finally, time, speed, distance, 1, 1, and 2 questions were asked in the previous year paper. All right. So this is the entire breakup for CAT 22. So CAT 22 में ये सब हुआ था. Okay. So now you can understand the importance. So in slot 1, a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 questions appeared from arithmetic. 9 questions out of 22 questions. That is more than 40%. Okay, so more than 40% of the questions appeared from arithmetic only in slot number 1. Let's talk about slot number 2. So 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, even more than that. In slot 2, there were 9 questions. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 questions here. यहाँ पे 8 है, I think. No, 6. Okay, 9 questions. So 9 questions in every year, each of these years. Okay, right? So this is the scenario of arithmetic, what happened in the last 2 years exactly. Now let's switch our gears and look at algebra. So this is the breakup of algebra, what has happened in this period of 5 years. Starting from quadratic equations, a total of 21 questions have been asked in these 5 years with an average of 1.75. Okay, 21 को directly 5 से divide नहीं करना because there were multiple slots. Okay, so total of 21 questions have been asked in 4 years, and each of these years has more than 1 slot. Okay, so on an average 1.75, I can say approximately 2 questions have been asked from quadratic equations. Similar case is for sequence and series. Logarithms is the next important area, having 19 questions in these 5 years with an average of 1.58. Okay, functions, linear equations, inequalities, special equations, yes, the questions have been asked. But if you look at these 5 areas up till linear equations, so these 5 areas have been very important as far as the QA section of CAT is concerned, right? Okay. Now, if I look at the scenario, what happened in the last year? So again, I can give you the breakup of that. Okay, so I'll write the topics first of all: linear equations, quadratic equations, higher degree equations, higher order equations, okay, special equations, then after that inequalities, then functions, and sequence and series. Last year, surprisingly, there was no question asked from logarithms. So sequence and series. Okay, slot number 1, slot number 2, and slot number 3. Let's have a look at the number of questions. Okay, so number of questions from linear equations in all the 3 slots, there was 1 question each, right? Quadratic equations, there were 2 questions in slot 1, 0 in slot 2, and 2 questions in slot 3. Higher order, none in the first slot, 1 each in the second and third slot. Special equations, the same thing happened, none in the first, 1 each in the next 2 slots. Inequalities, same thing, none in the first and 1 each in the next 2. Functions, there were 2 questions in the first, 2 questions in the second, and only 1 question in the third. And finally, sequence and series, 2 questions in the first slot, 2 questions in the second slot, and 1 question in the third slot. So adding them, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 questions in slot number 1, 8 questions in slot 2, 8 questions in slot 3. Okay, I can say that somewhere around 30%, 35% of the QA section has come from algebra alone. So arithmetic at 35 to 40%, algebra at somewhere around 35%. Now you have seen the exact picture what happened in the last year. So it was more than 70% of QA section that was based only on these 2 areas. Okay, so I have given you the breakup of the number of questions as well. Now you all can estimate yourself the importance of these 2 areas alone in the QA section of CAT. Okay, so all of you must have understood whatever I am trying to tell all of you. So now you can start focusing more on arithmetic and algebra. You have seen the exact picture what happened in the last year as well as from the period of 2017 up till 2021. Now, Sayaknath, you are asking about modulus. So in the last year, we have not seen the question on modulus. Okay. Also, there have been instances when the questions on modulus have come through the questions of functions. So modulus मैंने separately नहीं लिखा है. I have not mentioned modulus separately, but modulus can be or could be a part of functions. It can be a part of inequalities as well. All right. So जो भी function है, expression है, they may use the modulus function. So what is modulus? It's just another type of function. Okay. So the questions on modulus may be asked from functions in the chapter of functions, or they are included in inequalities as well. All right. Okay. So friends, that is about telling you the importance of these 2 areas. So now what you can do is you can pick up each of these topics one by one. So first of all, you must start with arithmetic, and arithmetic से start कर रहे हो तो arithmetic के जो भी areas हैं in the sequence that I have given you, you can start with these areas one by one and try and focus so that your accuracy will improve in the examination. Okay, now even out of let's say 16, 17 questions that comes from these areas, if you are able to pick up 11 or 12 questions and able to solve them with an accuracy of 85 to 90%, then you will be easily be sitting at 95 percentile in the QA section of CAT examination. All right. So that is all from my side for the day. I hope you would have understood the importance of arithmetic and algebra and will be channelizing, you'll be basically giving a proper direction to your preparation for the next few months. All right. Now, friends, new batches are available and you can enroll in any of these batches for CAT 2023. So this is the comprehensive program that we are offering to all the students who want to prepare with us for CAT 2023 examination. Now you can look at the details of this program on the screen. Also, you can use the link that is given in the description of the session to fetch some more details as well as to join any of these batches to join this program. All right. Now, in case you are interested in joining this CAT comprehensive program, you can avail up to 90% scholarship on all the CAT preparation programs. The next scholarship test that we are conducting for all of you will be on 28th of May at 11 a.m. All right. So limited seats are there. You must enroll for this batch and you can start your preparation for CAT examination. Sir, have you given the distribution of arithmetic in the past years similar to this? No, Siddharth, not in this session. Not I have given. But yes, I have given the average number of questions that were asked from each of these areas, okay, in the last 5 years. All right. Okay. Now devise your test taking strategy with Gautam Bawa sir. Register for this session, which will be conducted on 21st of May at 11 a.m. A must attend session. This will help you in making your strategy for the next 6 months to prepare for CAT 2023. All right. Now brush up your basics by attempting quizzes on daily basis on our application. So we have section-wise quizzes that are available to all of you on our application. So you can download the application from the Google Play and can start taking all these quizzes on daily basis. 500 most expected CAT questions, the series that started on 6th of April. This will continue, yes, definitely up till CAT examination. So you must subscribe to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep in order to watch all these sessions of 500 most expected questions for CAT 2023 for all the 3 sections, VRC, LRDI as well as Quant. All right. So friends, that's all from my side. You can follow us on these social media platforms. A big thanks to all of you for being a part of this session. Have a wonderful time preparing for CAT examination. All the very best. Bye-bye.